Well, here we are interviewing Barry Peatling for the second game of the season in the Mornington Peninsula League, Chelsea versus Seaford, and that was at the Seaford ground. So we're going to talk to Barry, have a match, post-match review. Hi Barry, how you going?
I'm very good, Colin. As a matter of fact, last night, nice warm sunny day, and well, the ground, Colin, was in very good nick.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Anybody who couldn't play football on Saturday should give the game away. The ground's in good nick. There's no wind, perfect. Very poor crowd, Colin, for a big game like this, because the Chelsea.
So what do you mean by poor crowd?
Well, wasn't many there at all. I mean, I've seen a lot bigger crowds than when Chelsea was sort of going more poorly. But Seaford, they were a top three side last year.
Top three side. Okay. Well, what was the weather like?
Perfect. Sun, no breeze at all. Just look at the ground. They've got something done to the ground.
The day was like 25 degrees, I think.
Very short sometimes.
Yeah, it was a warm day, perfect day. Maybe even too hot for football.
Yeah, I lost a bit of weight, some of the players there on Saturday.
Sweating a bit. Now, just were there any changes to the Chelsea side?
There was only one change. Langers, as everybody knows him, number 9, a very good star, one of my favourite footballers. He had a bit of a hamstring, and they brought in. Who did they bring in? Who did they bring in there? Now, I'll remember it later, but it was the only one change. That was no big...
no big deal, so wasn't
no big deal, no.
Wasn't it big... what was wrong with Langers? I
was talking to him after the game. He said he's got about 2 weeks to go.
Okay, so it's a bit of an injury. Okay, so let's get to the first half. I'll tell you what the scores were at the first half. By the first half, Chelsea were 8-7 and Seaford were 6-6. So it was still, on the scoreboard at least, a close game at half-time.
It was. The first quarter was, well, as I say, there's no scoring in advantage, but I'd always think down in the scoreboard end, there's always some sort of advantage. But anyway, there wasn't much, I think it was 4 goals something, 2 goals something in the first quarter. There was no, but Louis started the game off with a beautiful goal in the left-hand side pocket on the Seaford Road end. It was a beautiful goal. But apart from that, there was not much action in the first quarter. The second quarter, Chelsea started to get on top. The rucks were killing them. Our rucks, what's his name? That Nathan Johnson and Jack Gaze, and what's number 24's name? The big, tall, skinny fella. They'll kill him in the ruck. And at half time, they were about probably 3 or 4 goals in front. When you got the score, there was 3 or 4 goals.
Half time, they were. Well, it's only about 2 goals in front here. It says 6-6 to 8-7.
It was reasonably close.
It's pretty close. It looked like it was close. It could have gone still. It wasn't sort of wasn't really put away, and that didn't really happen until the second half or the third quarter, when the scores were Chelsea kicked a further 6 goals to just 3. So it was 14-13 to 9-9, and then the final score was Chelsea kicked 9 goals in the last quarter. 23-14 to 12-12. Total scores of 152 to Chelsea and 84 to Seaford. Tell us about the...
Well, the second half got away pretty good, and Luke Damon, he's going to be a bit of a gun for with Chrissy Warner. But Chrissy Warner is just about 2 marks away from a good game, Chrissy. When he's getting up, he just wasn't grabbing the ball. Same with Luke Stoke in the first half. He was getting up and he was dropping the marks, but Luke Damon, he finished up with 6 goals. Unbelievable. And then him and... Jackson Power, my little star over, he was killing them again. He was floating around, kicked a couple of nice goals. But
so who were the goal kickers then?
Well, the main goal kickers were Luke Damon. He finished up with 6. Chrissy Warner kicked 3, but he could have kicked about 6 goals. I mean, kicks shocking on Saturday, but he's only 1 2 marks away from a very good game, that fella.
Now, not the votes, but who were the top half a dozen players?
Well, not in order, but Stephen Harrison, he's an absolute standout, mate. He's, I'm going to call him 100% from now on. 100% Stephen Harrison. He can mark a ball, kick the ball, tough, strong, goes to the pack, splits the packs open, and and as a matter of fact, there's one little thing I noticed on Saturday. He got the first touch in the first quarter, and the last fellow that touched the ball in the last quarter was Stephen Harrison. So he had the first touch and the last touch. So I reckon he must have had about 12 kicks in the last quarter.
Okay, well, what about the votes? Who do you give 1 vote?
1 vote, I give, what have I got there? What do they say there?
Is there anything?
1 vote, I think it was Jackson Powell. 2 votes to Luke Damon. 3 votes to Stephen Harrison. Couldn't go past him. He's had 2 best.
100% Steve Harrison.
He is a marvel. He just gets the ball. He gets in the pack. He goes. He comes. They try to grab him. And he just shakes him up and takes the ball. I reckon he must have at least 35 possessions on Saturday. Probably more.
You might have to count it one time.
Well, one day I get my little very cool. Press the buttons all the time. But the other good players on the side was Anthony Lewis. He played a good captain's game again as usual. Scotty McLeod in the second half come good. The two or three fellas come good in the second half. Anthony Bruin took two very good marks within 5 minutes in the third quarter. He is going to be a player there, Anthony Bruin. He's only a young fella. Of course, Ryan Stewart, after half time, my star player from last year, first game back, he was a little bit rusty in the first half, but the second half played very well. He's back in business. And of course, Nigel Carmody, I think he had a bit of a blankety role on Saturday. But he done a good job. He was he's a very underrated player, Nigel Carmody. Very underrated.
Very good. So now, just to go back a little while ago, a month ago, before the season started, you said that Chelsea would make the top 3. You were pretty hopeful that they'll make the top 3. What do you think about that statement now, Barry?
Colin, thanks for bringing it up. I did mention that about a month ago. I reckon Chelsea is probably going a bit better than I thought they'd go. I reckon they're, as I said...
You're going to say the P word, are you?
What's that?
Premiers.
Well, you never get too far ahead of this business, Colin, but I'm just telling you now, as I said 2 weeks ago, and I done the first game, or 3 weeks ago, all the other sides are going to be looking out for Chelsea.
Okay.
They will... I reckon they'll so you can't go too far. The way they're going now, they slaughtered 2 sides, Colin. And Super was in the first 3 last year. 12 goals. And another thing, Chelsea hasn't beaten Seaford since 1995 down there. I thought it was 12 years, but someone told me it's
16 years.
1995 down there. I don't reckon they've beaten them down there. Check that by someone.
Okay, got to check that, but you've heard that. Okay, just to wrap it all up, any particular highlights of the game?
Well, there's one highlight in the third quarter, I think it was. Ryan Stewart took this mark on the day, and some unknown reason, he gave it against the fellow that was in front of, the Chelsea fellow was in front of him, he pushed the fellow.
Hands in the back or something.
He took the mark, it was a brilliant mark, and then the crowd went mad, but he took it off him.
That's controversy, isn't it?
Yeah. Stephen Harrison just got down to an amazing game. He's an amazing player, and I'll tell you what, he does things that other players can't do. He just keeps going.
Yeah,
he runs all day.
Walking and running highlights package.
I don't know whether he ever played AFL or VFL,
yeah.
but I'll ask him one day. I don't know how he didn't play AFL or VFL 10, 15 years ago.
How old will he be now?
Maybe 28, I reckon.
Okay.
But he's a marvel. Of course, Anthony Bruin, I said a few minutes ago, he took a couple of brilliant marks. He's only about 5'10", he just flew over the packs. And another, I must mention this, Nathan Johnson played a good game in the ruck too. Got about him in the best players.
Okay.
But he took 2 marks going backwards. Very courageous marks, and he is going to be a very, very good player.
Excellent. So when's the next game?
Next week, over across the road.
So we should hear another review package.
Probably give you another bit of a review on the Monday, but I see all the trucks and caravans over there ready to start demolishing the old stand.
Oh, it's happening.
Well, I think I hope they don't. I hope they leave some dressing rooms to get changed with a bit of luck.
Very good. Well, we look forward to that. The next wrap, and thank you very much for the comprehensive coverage of the Seaford game, Barry.
Well, it's my pleasure, Colin, and if you want to tune in next Monday afternoon about 5 or 6 o'clock, I was talking to a fellow, little Dougie on Saturday. He said, who's the best players?
No.
And put that pen down, Barry, yeah. But next Monday afternoon, later in the afternoon, we'll have another bit of a review, and hopefully I might be able to get to our game this year and do it every Monday, Colin.
Very good. We'll look forward to that. Well, thank you very much, Barry.
Well, bye from you and bye from me.